Wednesday, 16 March, The Gap News This Morning, broadcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, I'm Ghazali Abdullah. Good morning. First, the headlines. High Court orders CIMB to file defence after suit by 12 account holders. Ampang police detain APM officer after viral spat with top cop. 11 file suit to pull Sarawak out of Malaysia. Tens of thousands evacuated from Ukrainian cities. China businesses shut as officials widen COVID lockdowns. And Bahrain Grand Prix, Formula One accused of ignoring abuse and suffering. And now the news in full. The High Court in Kuala Lumpur has ordered CIMB Bank to submit its statement of defence in a lawsuit brought by 12 account holders over a bank error that caused their monies to be frozen and left them in debt. The court ordered the bank to file its defence by March 30th, when the case was brought up for mention online before Assistant Registrar Malaselvi Sanmugam. The lawsuit was filed on February 28, with Judicial Commissioner Adlin Abdul Majid assigned to preside over the case. The 12 suing the bank claimed that freezing their accounts was a contractual violation. They claimed third-party processing errors remained the bank's fault, not the customers'. They sought a court order to declare the freezing of bank accounts invalid and unenforceable, as it went against the bank's terms and conditions. They also want the court to declare that the action to freeze accounts had unfairly prejudiced customers and neglected and breached the duty of care of its customers. Last month, the bank claimed a processing error related to a specific third-party financial remittance service had led to transfers made to customers being accidentally credited twice. A senior private undersecretary from the Prime Minister's department allegedly linked to a viral video showing him arguing with the district police chief over decisions made during the landslide, which occurred at Taman Mega Jaya, Bukit Permai last Thursday, was called in for questioning by police Monday night. Ampang Jaya Police Chief Muhammad Farooq Eshak said in a statement Tuesday that the 38-year-old man is the main suspect of the case and was called in at 8 p.m. for his statement to be recorded. The suspect, who is also an assistant commissioner in the Civil Defence Force APM, was released 3 hours after being quizzed by the authorities. It was reported that police had launched investigations into a viral 55-second Facebook video that showed an APM personnel allegedly questioning Farooq for barring the team's members from entering the landslide site in Taman Bukit Permai. 11 Sarawakians have filed a suit in the Kuching High Court to remove the territory from the Federation of Malaysia. Led by Doris Katanjuman, they filed the action last year, but only served the amended writ and statement of claim to the defendants, Putrajaya, the British and Sarawak governments recently. They are seeking damages for suffering mental and emotional stress, loss and damage from the unlawful or illegal acts of the 3 defendants jointly or severally. During an online case management before Judicial Commissioner Alexander Siu, Putrajaya and the Sarawak government said they would file an application to strike out the suit. Russian troops are holding 400 people, including doctors and patients, like hostages inside a hospital in Mariupol, the deputy mayor says. About 20,000 people were able to leave the city on Tuesday, according to a senior Ukrainian official. Talks between Ukrainian and Russian officials have ended and are set to continue on Wednesday. Ukrainian negotiator Mikhailo Podolak said there are fundamental contradictions during the talks, but certainly room for compromise. Meanwhile, Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko has announced a 35-hour curfew in the capital, warning of a difficult and dangerous moment. Russian airstrikes hit a metro station and residential buildings overnight, killing 4 people. Russian journalist Marina Osyana-Nikova has been fined after interrupting Russian state TV with a sign reading "No War." The Kremlin responds to new U.S. sanctions on several of its defense officials by barring 13 Americans from entering Russia, including President Joe Biden. The Czech, Polish and Slovenian PMs have met with Ukraine's President Zelensky in Kiev. Multinational companies have halted some operations as China widens its COVID lockdowns, amidst its biggest since the start of the pandemic. Tens of millions of people across the country face restrictions, including the entire Jilin province and technology hub Shenzhen, as authorities report record number of cases. Toyota, Volkswagen and Apple supplier Foxconn are among the firms affected. The lockdowns have raised concerns that crucial supply chains may be disrupted. China on Tuesday reported a record high of more than 5,000 cases, most of it in Jilin. All 25 million residents of the northeastern province were placed under quarantine orders on Monday. It is the first time China has restricted an entire province since the Wuhan and Hebei lockdown at the beginning of the pandemic. Jilin residents have been banned from moving around, and anyone wanting to leave the province must apply for police permission. And now for some sports news. Formula One has been accused of ignoring the abuse of human rights in Bahrain on the eve of the new season starting in the country this weekend. The Bahrain Institute for Rights and Democracy, BIRD, says F1 has abandoned those who have been tortured and imprisoned partly as a result of criticism of the race. An F1 spokesperson said, "We take our responsibilities on rights very seriously and set high ethical standards for counterparties and those in our supply chain. These were enshrined in contracts and we pay close attention to their adherence." Syed Ahmad Al-Wadi, the Director of Advocacy for BIRD, has written a letter to F1 President and Chief Executive Officer Stefano Domenicali following the decision to award the Bahrain race a new 15-year contract. The letter says that the contract directly contradicts your claim from last year that F1 takes violence, abuse of human rights, and repression very seriously. To end the bulletin, here are the headlines again. High Court orders CIMB to file defense after sued by 12 account holders. Ampang police detain APM officer after viral spat with top cop. 11 file suit to pull Sarawak out of Malaysia. Tens of thousands evacuated from Ukrainian cities. China, businesses shut as officials widen COVID lockdowns. And Bahrain Grand Prix, Formula One accused of ignoring abuse and suffering. This has been the Gap News this morning, Wednesday, 16 March, with reports from Free Malaysia Today, The Vibes and the BBC World Service. The Gap News is also available on the internet news portal Melaka Hari Ini. We hope you found the bulletin informative. We certainly welcome hearing from you. If you do have the opportunity, please do write in. We would certainly love to hear from you. Broadcasting live from Kuala Lumpur, I'm Ghazali Abdullah.